Hey guys, we're back to the Tate circuit being driven by the tiny fluorescent ballast series capacitance bank, driving both these canister cylinder ignition cylinders with they're wired opposite of each other. 4-foot, I don't know, T8 bulb. I guess a 10 watt. Hey, that tingles a little bit. 40 watt, anyway. You can feel it. Woo. I don't recommend getting zapped by those things. Maybe a little custom thing for it. I think I showed this before. Anyway, here's the spark gap effect that's going on. This carbon vapor buildup that is coating these tiny but comparatively significant spark gap electrode surfaces, which seem to enhance this effect or support this effect much more than any type of needle point gap or whatever. It helps with the quenching, but likes to stay in oscillation. We're looking at, like, I'm assuming about 2,000 volts that's going into the tate coming out of this ballast, and after the doubling or quadrupling that's going on here, I don't really think I'm driving those with 10,000 volts. Under actual load, it's probably more like a couple thousand. But the output of them is too much for the cylinder. It arcs down to the thing, so I have to dump oil in there with mineral oil in top of there. That one's even got a boot on it, and it's still wanting to come through with the load. But it's enough to fire this bulb. I'll go ahead and turn it on with that. You'll see what I mean. Look at that. It's about 2 inches apart. Any more than that, it wants to just arc down to the terminal here, so who knows really how high the voltage actually is. See, it'll stop for a minute, but then it'll eventually break through. There it goes. About 3 inches now. Back in here. Plenty of voltage here. You've seen it drive the setup over here earlier. I'll show you in a second. Even one wire ground's flickering the bulb with the arc. This circuit seems to have plenty of power to drive these things. I could probably run 2 more, perhaps even. Always discharge. There's always that one last charge left in there. Resistors are for pussies. This guy, 2 new transformers. Let's see if I can show you this with the lights off here in a minute too. Jars in oil with jars in water with oil on top. These guys are undergoing remanufacturing. Everything's arcing everywhere now. The swat in the secondary. This is wired upside down. My ground is going up here to the top, and the bottom here of the secondary. That was my favorite light bulb, man. The bottom of the secondary is coming out through here, and it's freaking arcing. There's plasma going down here. You can see it in the oil on the table I spilled. Anyway, this is going to the tertiary with a dome on it. Everything else is the same as before. fluctuation seems to be strangely related to the existence of a different potential within the plasma range. So when we allow the plasma to exist with a solid visual, completely colored in path, at least in the dark, somehow fluctuations start to begin happening on the primary circuit. See if I can get them to happen. I think I need to open that gap a little bit. There we go. So you hear it start breaking up once I get this going here. Nope, almost happened there. Hold on. Spark gap has to just start to break up by itself. It's not behaving yet. Obviously, it's something with the ionization path that finally gets strong enough. There it goes. At times at night I can see somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 7 inch arcs off of this thing, which suggests around 500,000 volts plus. So it's interesting that you're doing it, driving this coil upside down. Having a tertiary on top with the ground hooked up isn't any different. With the ground hooked in the center, that is. The tertiary is completely dead. There's no voltage, potential difference between that and the bottom of the secondary, between that and the top of the secondary. So using the ground rod to short it. So this is definitely upside down in that sense. Another interesting note is when I reverse the leads on the primary, even though this is AC being discharged through a gap, it has extremely diminished results. So they have to be in this orientation, which is the capacitance section being applied continuously, and then the outer ring area, which you could constitute as ground, being discharged through the gap. It's very crazy. Let's see if I can get a shot with the lights off real quick.